Hey everyone. So this week I went to go and see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on the West End at the Palace Theatre. I've been desperate to go and see this for a long time, but you know, as we all know, theatre is very expensive to go to, and you know, we're a family of five, and so I, you know, can't always justify it. But actually this year I came up with an idea that I'd take each of my children to go and see something that they'd like to go and see, and we'd just go, the two of us. So I went with my son, who is also a Harry Potter fan, and we went to go and see the Cursed Child. So getting there, really, really simple. I mean, we went up to Victoria and then just got the tube over to Oxford Circus and kind of dwindled our way down, really. Went through Leicester Square up to Covent Garden, grabbed a bit of lunch, and went to the first show. So it was really nice and easy to do. Rail card, it actually wasn't too expensive to get up there. So when you go in, I was expecting actually there to be loads of merchandise, but there wasn't loads. You had key rings, you had pens, you had a few t-shirts and a few hoodies, but not loads of choice. Your hoodies, you were looking at about £50 for a hoodie, which is probably about normal, to be fair, and would be similar if you were getting something from their store. Key rings were about £10 each. You could get a deal with a souvenir brochure and a tote bag for £22. You know, so there were a few options there, but I was expecting there to be more. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting there to be more. But there are some shops that are nearby which are kind of like magic shops or spell shops sort of thing, and they have loads of merchandise in there. So you could get stuff from there if you wanted to. Price of refreshments and things, you know, a bottle of water was £4. So again, you're looking at expensive prices. I did see other people taking in their own food and their own drinks as well. And actually it was great to hear right at the beginning they made an announcement about not rattling food. People still did with the wrappers. I wish they wouldn't sell popcorn in plastic bags as well, because that just is so noisy. It's so frustrating, especially when you've paid so much for ticket. Just don't do it. Wait until the interval. You can wait an hour to have something to eat, can't you? Maybe. So anyway, that's my little bugbear. I can't stand it when people eat and drink in the theatre. Just watch the performance. So anyway, we went to the first one. The first showing was at 2 o'clock. On a Sunday, they're 1 and 6. During the week, they're 2 and 7. We were doing both parts in one day. So we got there for 2 o'clock. Cool lighting on the set, quite dimly lit, and you kind of figure out as you go along why it was so dimly lit. Lights go down, fabulous moment. I loved this production. I really loved it. It really spoke to me on the way that I would direct things or rehearse things. There were lots of physical elements. There were cast bringing on and off the set. A lot of the set was made up out of suitcases, and suitcases that would be moved on and about. So, you know, it made the train carriages, it made the top of the train. Yeah, just made up loads and loads of different bits. Obviously, you've got the trolleys at the beginning, and I was kind of thinking, how are they going to do all of these things? I still haven't been able to figure out a couple of the things, I have to admit. Other things I did manage to kind of work out how they did it. But so yeah, people would bring on these suitcases, and then they obviously had the Harry Potter cloaks, and it was made, you know, a big movement of sweeping the coats to reveal the set and for them to move off, which was really, really clever. Lots of kind of physical theatre and movement in between scenes, so you weren't kind of going, if you were having a piece of naturalistic theatre and you had lots of blackouts in between things, it didn't work like that. Wasn't what it was like. So I really liked that style. I thought it was really good. I thought the characters that they cast, I thought the casting, let's get it right, I liked it. My son wasn't sure at first about the Harry, but I think that's maybe because we all have just this vision of what we think Harry Potter should be like. I liked him. I thought he was quite good. In fact, actually, the person that I wasn't so sure about at first was Scorpius, but Scorpius actually grew on me as we went through. All the other characters I really liked, and actually the person that was playing Ginny, really liked that particular character because it felt more to me like Ginny in the books, Ginny of old, you know, that kind of brave, fearless kind of character, which I don't think you got from the movies. I don't think you really got, you know, a full understanding of Ginny from Bonnie's character in the movies. I mean, that, like I said, that could just be me, that could just be my opinion. Well, it is just my opinion, but that's how I felt. But I really liked the characterisation of this Ginny. It just felt a lot truer to the original books. The lighting and special effects, oh my God, they're amazing. They really are amazing. Now, it's trying to tell you stuff without giving too much away, because I don't want to give too much away, because otherwise I do think it could take away from the whole experience. But with the special effects, the way that they make this so clever is actually through the lighting. The lighting in this production is phenomenal. So when you're lighting something in theatre, you can be lighting from straight on. So if you're doing that, then actually you're kind of lighting everything behind you as well, so you can see everything. Now, because they've got very high ceilings at the Palace Theatre, there was a lot of down lighting going on. So when it was down lighting, it was just the character in the front. It gave a lot of shadows and everything. It was quite dimly lit in the rest of the theatre. So you were only really lighting kind of what was right in front of you, the characters. So everything behind was in blackout. You couldn't see it. So people could quite easily come onto the stage and you wouldn't see them. So there were certain effects where different characters were switching over and you would not notice it because you can't see them coming onto the stage, or something suddenly appears and you're like, how is that happening? Or there's a wire and someone is being flown to look like they've just been, you know, Expelliarmus or something, or they've just been thrown somewhere. And they kind of go up and move. Well, you can't see the wires because of the way that it's lit. So, you know, you couldn't see it. So the lighting for me is what kind of really makes this magical, because it hides so many things and it means you get away with so many special effects. You know, you have a moment where he has a sweet, Scorpius has a sweet that's supposed to blow steam, and they are actually able to do the steam sort of coming out as well. The Dementors in it are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. There's an amazing part at the kind of towards the end of the first show with the Dementors, and you're just left there going, oh my God, that's amazing. I came back in on the second one going, I need to find the wires. Where are the wires? I couldn't see it because obviously even when you're sat as an audience, the lights are actually quite dim so that you can't see all of those bits and pieces. So you're immersed in the magic, so to speak. So yeah, Dementors were great. There's another point when they're in the lake. If you've read the play, obviously you know they go back to the Goblet of Fire. And there's another point when they're in the lake and you know, they're kind of swimming in the lake. And again, that's very clever, all done with kind of gauzes and projections. And it reminded me a little bit of a show that I'd seen with Cirque du Soleil, where they were kind of diving down and going into the water there. So, you know, that was really, really clever, the way that they did that, and it looked like they were swimming in the water. And I was trying to explain to my son after, because he was kind of saying, well, how did they do that? And I was like, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you and tell you how he did it. If you want to know, you can leave me a note in the comments, and I can write and let you know there, but I won't say it in the video in case some people haven't seen it and want to go and see it. So yeah, Dementors, the swimming, there's part with library where they're kind of being swallowed up by books. There's polyjuice potions. There's transfiguration, which on that one they were a little bit late on one of the cues. So I thought it was easy to see how they'd done it. My son didn't notice it, but maybe it's just I'm looking for things like that. So anyway, that was something that was done really well. Like I said, yeah, all the wire work that they had in there, it was just so clever. The first show that we went to, so 2 o'clock, it was, I think, sort of 2 hours 40 for the first one. Didn't actually feel that you were sat there for that long, and I'm not a massive one for sitting down for long periods of time. So yeah, for me, I fidget. I really fidget. I have to be up and doing things. And I get real restless legs when I'm sat down for too long. So anyway, but it didn't feel that long for me. I actually really enjoyed it. Going back for the second show, yeah, I was looking forward to it, but at the same time, I was kind of dreading sitting down for another kind of double act. It did, but once it got going again, I was so involved in it and so engrossed in it that actually, I didn't mind. It was okay. I didn't get fidgety. I was so immersed in trying to figure out how they did things. Yeah, that's another special effect you've got to look out for when they're doing the time turning and they actually go back. The only way I can liken it to is if there's like a sonic boom on TV and you get this kind of wobbling effect where everything's kind of morphing and going a bit funny. They managed to do that on stage, and I'm sure it's done with lighting and moving of set. That's the one I couldn't quite figure out, but it was I was sat there just going, oh my god, how are they doing that? That's phenomenal. How are they doing it? So anyway, yes, so when we went back for the second one was slightly shorter, but only by about 10 minutes. You do have a 20-minute interval in each one as well. So yeah, I wish they could find a way. I actually wish they could find a way to put it into one production for the West End, because I think it would make it a little bit more accessible, because then actually you could take school trips up there and things as well. Taking school trips up to see 2 shows isn't necessarily something I would look forward to doing. We ended up being quite late coming home. I mean, you could do it, but it's what do you do with people in between? What do you do with students? I was lucky; it was just me and my son, so we just went off. Again, went back up to Covent Garden, went and got something to eat for dinner, and went back to the theatre. Had a look around a few shops and things. So you can do that, but I would love it if they could condense it. Although I'm not sure how they would do it with, and then maybe losing some of the effects and stuff. But yeah, for me, it was amazing. It was everything I'd hoped it would be. It really lived up to my expectations. And I would say, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you've got to go and see it, because it is just very, very cool. I had read the play before. I study it with my year 8s, so I did know the storyline, but my son didn't know all of it. So that, it has a good element of surprise towards the end. But yeah, the lighting, the sound was great as well. It was really atmospheric. Again, you had those little moments where you had the motifs from the movie, so it was something that felt familiar to you, so that you engaged with it a little bit more. And I mean, let's face it, the nostalgia is what's kind of taking a lot of people to see some of these shows, but particularly a lot of the shows actually in the West End at the moment, with Back to the Future and all of that sort of stuff. It's very nostalgic. Mrs. Doubtfire, which will be the next one that I do. So yeah, it was a great show to go and see. I really would recommend going to see it. Just be prepared for the long amount of time sitting down. There aren't loads of loos there, so also just be prepared for that. But yeah, an outstanding show. If you get a chance, go watch, particularly if you like Harry Potter. Anyway, if you have been to see it, let me know what you think in the thoughts and comments below, and any questions, give me a shout in the comments below. If you want to hear about any more of my reviews from theatre, film, anything like that, then just like and subscribe. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye bye.